Hi, and welcome to tonight's party. I can't wait to show you some of the titles I've picked out for tonight. I'm going to kind of go through them quickly, hopefully, and kind of give you a broad overlook at some of the titles that I'm excited to share. Some of these are new titles, some of these are older, but I love them all, and so I had a hard time narrowing down. So I'm going to try and move fast, and if you need me to go back or point you in the right direction later, just don't hesitate to comment, and I'd be happy to do that. So I'm going to kind of start with some of our younger books and move up to our older books, and I'll try and move, like I said, quickly. So the first book I want to show you is part of our That's Not My series. This is a great beginner book for infants because it's changing colors on every page, and then it kind of grows with the child because it does have the textures, but it's repetitious, so that's not my tractors on every page except the last page where it talks about that is my tractor, and it goes through and it kind of mentions a feature about each tractor, about why it's not the tractor. So if it's the engine, if it's the seat, if it's the wheels, those kinds of things. So this is part of a larger series, but great beginner book, and kind of goes with the child. Another one I've got is part of our Muddle and Match series. This is a great book for starting off for reading as well because it has alliterated words on the opening pages. So Puss, the purring pampered pet, polishes his perfectly princely boots and proudly practices pussycat pounces. And so that your child can then, as you get silly with it, so it doesn't have to always be alliterated, but kind of opening to different pages, creating their own fairy tale, Snow White, here mixing with, it looks like Sleeping Beauty and Beauty and the Beast. So this is a new title actually in that series. This is another new title that we have, Alfie and Bet's ABC Pop-Up Alphabet Book Adventure. And so it walks through Alfie and Bet, who are trying to discuss which letter is the best. And so they walk through the whole alphabet, and each page has pop-up letters as they talk about why that letter would be the best. Some of our bestsellers are these All Better and The Little Bear Needs Glasses. All Better was our first one. It's got 5 reusable Band-Aids, and so as the animals get hurt, it says clean it, kiss it, put a Band-Aid on it, and so you take the reusable Band-Aid and you cover their ouchie, and it introduces that. With Little Bear, he's needs glasses, and so he's talking to his friends about what he needs, and so they offer him to try their glasses, but none of them fit right, and so he learns he needs his own, and it does come with those reusable stickers that I had mentioned previously. We have beginning chapter books, and they start with our Hey Jack and Billie Be Brown series. I think this starts with age 4, and the writing and print is very large, and so they have several titles in this series. These particular series kind of have ones that grade up with the child. So it starts with, like I said, age 4, but then they have some that go up into early middle school, some that are for later elementary school. Step kind of chapter books are this Farm Rescue Pup Patrol series and our Fizz Police Dog Academy series. This one we've just recently added some more titles to, but as you can see, the print is getting smaller and the illustrations are getting fewer. And as you get into kind of the next part, we've got 2 different titles here. This one's probably, I would say, the next step. It's called Operation Robot Storm. It is a series, and it has a kind of a compilation of that smaller print, pictures, and then it's unique in that it does have some sections that are kind of more that comic book style. So this is a great one for anybody who kind of likes that mixture of mediums. And then the Four-Fingered Man is another series we have, and again you can see the print has gotten smaller, and there are some illustrations, but they're very, very few of them. These are 2 lovable stories by King Miller, called The Curious Case of the Mammoth, Missing Mammoth, and the Nibbles. Nibbles has a book that came before it called Nibbles. This one's Nibbles, the Dinosaur Guide. But what's unique about these is they have a fictional story that's going through, but then they have nonfiction facts filtered in. So this one's about a mammoth who runs loose at midnight from the museum, and his older brother is trying to look for him, and he has a little boy that's helping. But this is what I mean by some of the facts. So you're following the story about Timothy and Teddy, the Mammoths, trying to get him back home before the clock expires. But then you've got these fun facts along the way. Peek Inside or Lift the Flap. This Peek Inside one is about nighttime, so it walks you through different venues at night. So what happens at a bakery during the night? They're preparing the meals for the next day. You know, what is an owl doing at night? It's looking for mice, those kinds of things. So it's a very beautifully illustrated book that's presenting nonfiction facts. Got these Lift the Flap questions and answer books. We do have some that are for younger kids. This one's a little bit older, but it introduces the who, what, where, when, and why questions, and then allows your child to do a Lift the Flap to answer some of their questions. So that question was, where do giant spiders live? In hot countries all over the world, and has some nonfiction facts about that. But very unique way to introduce facts to your children. The Time Travelers. This is a history type book, but it has illustrations kind of going through. This one's Knights and Kings in the Castle, talking about how you build the palaces. So again, it's a nonfiction book, but has a lot of fun facts, and it's broken down easily for your child to read little snippets to keep them engaged. This is not a science book in the Engineer Academy. This is not a science book. I also have, this is not a math book. And this one allows your hands-on learner to kind of not realize they're learning science because they're doing projects, but learning concepts in science. So teaching things like, this is a mini movie, so talking about kind of that stop-go animation, flip book kind of thing. Talking about illusions, those kinds of things in the science book. And then the engineer book kind of giving you a backdoor approach to physics and giving them projects on, you know, how to build certain concepts and electrical circuits and things like that to learn along the way. If you've got one that's into computers, we've got a couple titles dealing with coding, and we've got coding for beginners with Python and coding using Scratch. And this one takes a step-by-step approach to teaching how to use the code and build building programs on your computer. One of the last nonfiction ones I want to show you is our Shine the Light series. This is one of our best sellers, but this particular one is talking about U.S. history. And so the cool thing about this is that it's got the nonfiction part. The faces of 4 presidents are carved into Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. Who is looking at them? And so you take a flashlight, and hopefully this will work because I'm kind of in a bright setting. And if you can see very carefully here, you can see that there's a hidden image behind it. And so when you flip the page, you can see more. So it says many people come to see Rushmore. Almost 3 million tourists visit every year. So this one's talking about some of the landmarks in the United States. We've got these great illustrated classics. This is just one of the titles. It has titles in it such as Huckleberry Finn, Phantom of the Opera, White Fang, and it has these gorgeous illustrations to go along with the print and the reading, and the backgrounds change colors, which help engage a reader. Instead of having the same color over and over again, it re-engages the reader when the colors change. The last one I'm going to show you tonight is the complete Usborne Shakespeare series. And so these are little snippets from some of Shakespeare's works. But it starts off with giving you some background into the characters in the play, and then they have written it out in a story form rather than a play form to kind of help with following. So it's a great introduction to Shakespeare. I hope I showed some books that you enjoyed. I know some of those are my favorites. So if you need any help with picking out any titles or wanting any more suggestions, I'm happy to help. So just let me know and I can point you in the right direction. Thank you.